Hello everyone, Janeway here. I wanted to take a moment, especially since I haven't been have done video in a while, to talk about one of the Marvel Snap decks that had some, had some like large popularity, and then recently ended up getting nuked, uh, and has um, lost some popularity and lost, in my opinion, significant ways to win. But let's just put that over there for now, and we'll get to potential controversy later. So a Hell deck is basically a discard deck where at the last turn you bring out Hela and you end up basically bringing to the field all of the discards that you've done. Normally, that can be anywhere between like 2 and 5. It kind of depends a little bit on what fields you have, and what discard cards you have in play and how they are compatible or not with what's in your hand. So popular ones, for example, is Blade. Blade, for one, takes out the rightmost card in your hand. Um, and I realized me doing it this way looks like a left on your screen, but this is my right hand. So, if some of these heavy hitters like Infinite, Scar, Death, even Iron Man end up being on the rightmost side, you just drew it. Great, Blade can cut it. Um, but if it ends up being something else that also can discard cards like Sif, Swordmaster, Hellcow, um, or Black Cat who discards herself, uh, then it might not be as wise to uh, play Blade at that particular time. Um, Similar situation with all the other uh, discards except Hellcow. Um, Sif only does the highest cost one, and so uh, many people will only do it either when Hell is not in their hand at that time, or if she is in their hand when Scar or Death appear. Swordmaster can only do odd, so Hell is safe. Um, but then you're shooting for Scar or Iron Man. But if you have Sif or Blade in your hand, you might end up discarding them instead. Um, so again, got to be kind of careful there. Um, Apologies, my throat just got dry. Now, this used to be a very different looking deck. So, um, 3 cards got a significant decrease in power. Hela went from 6 to 9. Swordmaster went from 7 to 6. Hellcow went from 7 to 6. On top of that, Black Cat changed entirely. It used to be, I want to say a 412, but I have to go back and look. Um, and they converted it to a 2-6 to balance Hela out with the other decks. Uh, Black Hat is still somewhat useful, um, in terms of, she discards herself, and so when you play Hela, you got a 6 cost in there. But it's like a small fire to a blazing inferno of like Infinite. Um, and so people are still keeping Black Hat in, and I agree because of the easy discard. It's just the situation has altered with Hela, especially. So one of the downsides of Hela, just in general, before or after Nuke, is that Hela uh, basically chooses where she's going to end up putting those discard cards. And so you might, if you're lucky, have uh, 5, maybe 6 cards out scattered across the 3 fields. Um, And like one of those fields, the only way you're going to win is if your Iron Man that got discarded ended up landing there, or Infinite ended up landing there. Hela might decide instead to put Black Cat in there, and 6 points is not enough. So it's like completely random, and uh, it has a chance of working out how you want it to work. But there's also a chance that even if you only have, say, 5 discards and 5 slots remaining, so you're going to fill the board, you may not end up getting those cards where they are needed or in the right configuration in order to pull off a win. So Hela is um, challenging in that respect. Now, part of what helped with that was the additional power on Hela, Swordmaster, Hellcow, and Black Hat. Um, that helped compensate for the randomness of Hela. But nowadays, it can be challenging to get that win because you're missing a few crucial points on a field because um, one of the cards there got nuked and you didn't get the right discard or one of the right discards to go in that place. And so it's a very um, fickle, I guess would be the best word, kind of deck now. Like if your luck is on, you're hot. You're gonna, you could easily beat most decks, uh, except usually anything involving Wong and Mystique. So that's usually like the Hazmat Surfer deck. That one usually gives a challenge because of if it's clicking right, it gives insane uh, amounts of power or insane amount of uh, debuff, um, depending on what they use for that combination. Anyway, uh, the point here is that this deck can work still. It is a deck that is possible to win. It's just significantly harder, and um, people have been noticing that the my uh, stream watchers, some of which who also play the game, are questioning the utility of Hela because of like things like this. And I know this video is probably never going to reach the people who developed the game, but I think they overtuned when they ended up doing Hela. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my little spiel on Hela. You really gotta go into it realizing that the discards you get, um, you put in there, may end up going not quite where you want them. Uh, yeah, to watch out with the limitations of your discarders. Hellcow, it's just an activation. So usually people will do that on the last turn when they're going to play Hela, so that Hela doesn't accidentally get discarded from Hellcow. Um, just so you can see, activate. It's an activation. Discard a card from your hand. Um, but the other three, Blade, Swordmaster, Sif, are all have conditions to what gets discarded, and sometimes the cards do not bring you, or you do not draw what you want or need to use those cards. Warlock can help if if you're able to get him on a field that he's winning, but opponents will usually put some effort into trying to stop Adam Warlock. One of the exceptions to that sometimes is destruction decks. So the beginning of destruction decks, like you pick a spot and you're focused on that spot for 3 turns, 2 or 3 turns, and then you can like kind of go expand depending on where the cards fly. Um, but yeah, this is an introduction to Hela. I hope this was helpful. Um, I stream regularly, so feel free to go to my Twitch, which is in the description below, and watch. Um, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Janeway out.